Alright, when will TDU SC release? Should we be worried about the Switch release? Well, I'm Alex7 and today I'm going to go into all of this and a bit more. Let's get straight into the video. Okay, so let's first talk release date. Now, I've said previously in my other videos, the release date may have actually been teased to us back in the head-to-head trailer that appeared last month in April. Now, in the head-to-head trailer, I originally thought that this plate on the Aston Martin would belong to release date and the Range Rover would obviously belong to the location, which I've already said in my previous video is most likely going to be Tenerife. You can see the video pop up on the screen right now. Now, the plate on the Aston Martin 0222N is what I thought is November the 2nd, 2022. And I thought this because, well, late 2022 would be the earliest that TDU SC could actually release. But upon further thinking, I'm starting to change my mind on this initial thought. And let me tell you why. Now, one of the first reasons is that having an exact release date down to the exact day this far out is going to be a bit hard. In fact, I don't think there are any companies that would have said it that far away. On top of that, November the 2nd, 2022 is a Wednesday, and every single nacon game I've checked, WRC 8, 9, 10, Rims Racing, and a couple of other games that are not developed by Kylotonn or Raceward, those all released on a Thursday, never a Wednesday. So that is why I thought November the 2nd, 2022 doesn't make any sense. However, they could have given us a month, which honestly is a much more realistic time frame of when a game will release that far out, but February 2022 makes sense, and let me tell you why. Now, we all know way back Atari owned the Test Drive Unlimited franchise IP. However, on December the 8th, 2016, it was announced that Big Ben, which is now nacon, owns the rights to Test Drive Unlimited, and in fact the Test Drive brand, which is pretty interesting. Now, obviously you wouldn't just buy a franchise without having a plan behind it. We all know at this point in time, December 8th, 2016, Alain Jarnou was already working at Kylotonn, so it must have made sense when he saw this go for sale. He probably urged Big Ben, which is now nacon, to actually go ahead and grab the license, and they got it for a steal of a price. But of course, spending just about €1 million on a franchise wouldn't make sense if you didn't have a plan prior to it. So I'm sure Alain Jarnou was talking to nacon. He said, you know what, this is my idea, I want to do it on this island. They must have had a pre-development talk prior to buying this. So okay, now we know the franchise was bought in 2016. We can say that Kylotonn and Big Ben, which is now nacon, started development early 2017 or late 2016. But now this is where it gets crazy. Now, last year, September the 3rd, 2020, Roman Vincent, who is the actual owner of Kylotonn, came out and did an interview with Le CNC. Now, this is what he said. But we have titles with longer cycles, such as Test Drive, announced a few weeks ago, of which 5 years of development will separate the initial project from its launch. So let that sink in. 5 years of development from the start of the project to launch. Now, if we take that, December 2016, or if we actually want to say, let's just say early 2017 is when they started development, 5 years from January 2017 brings us to January 2022. Alright, now this is crazy. Now, when you add in COVID and all of that, let's just say they were behind a few weeks, or if even at all, you now know that February 2022 would bring us right about the 5-year development cycle for this Test Drive franchise. So listen, February 2022 on the Aston Martin plate would make a lot of sense, and also this would mean that obviously the two plates are not coordinates. As I said, they should be looked at separately. Also, how could I forget Test Drive Unlimited 2 released in February? Why would they not do February again just to like commodorate the whole TDU2 franchise? That would make a lot of sense, right? But anyways, so with that being said, Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown could be very well coming a lot more soon than a lot of us previously thought. And I'm sure in July we're going to be finding out the release date as well as the location officially, with a gameplay world premiere happening at Gamescom. That would make the most amount of sense. So again, don't expect gameplay at nacon Connect in July, but August at Gamescom would make a lot of sense on when you should be seeing gameplay. That is, if my whole theory is correct. But now let's talk the Switch. You guys should not be worried, and let me tell you why. Now, the first thing I see a lot of you guys say is, hey, will Test Drive Unlimited be bottlenecked by the previous gen consoles, such as the PS4 or such as the Nintendo Switch, if even? Well, the first thing I'm going to say is no. What I've been seeing personally from Kylotonn is that the KT engine is very versatile and giving you high quality gameplay with max settings, and also be able to dumb it down for games such as WRC on the Switch. You can definitely see WRC on the PS5 running at 4K, or even WRC on the PC running at max 4K. It looks absolutely stunning. But on the Switch, you can actually get a constant frame rate of 30 frames a second, which on a Switch makes sense. And honestly, for games such as WRC 9 on the Switch, it is mind-blowing how kylotonn were actually able to do that. And the fact that they're actually aiming for consistent frames per second is beautiful. So we all know that obviously KT know what they're doing, they know how to make ports, and this KT engine is honestly quite versatile. But obviously you're gonna argue that, hey, well, WRC is a smaller scale game when compared to TDU. Well, that may be right. When you think about the PSP version of TDU1, where for example you didn't have houses, I'm sure there will be some features that are dumbed down for the Switch in order to make it run very smoothly. And again, if you really want to experience TDU SC at its full capacity, it would be a no-brainer to not buy it on a Switch regardless. You'd probably want to get it on a PS5, Xbox Series X, or PC. Now, the one thing I haven't heard a lot of people talk is the Switch Pro. Now, the Switch Pro is actually rumored to be releasing sometime next year, or maybe even the end of this year, and apparently it's going to have a lot of a better spec compared to the previous Nintendo Switch. And in fact, here's just an output from an article I found recently, and apparently this whole Nintendo Switch Pro thing is legit. In fact, the Universal Display Corp mentioned one of the CEOs, he said that Nintendo is switching to an OLED for their Switch Pro in their investors Q1 call. So that is very interesting. The Switch Pro may actually be legit. And think about it, TDU SC on a Switch Pro would be an insane launch title if this were actually true. So we're gonna have to find out later this year if it really is true that the Switch Pro will be releasing later on this year or even early next year. Again, don't really know, but hey, the Switch Pro, don't leave that out. That could be a possibility on what nacon and KT are developing for. But regardless, I don't think we should be worried at all, guys. Again, KT know the eyes is on the prize, and they're going to be making sure the game on next-gen consoles and PC looks stunning. And I mean, again, if you really want to experience TDU SC in its full-fledged graphics and all that, it would make sense to buy it on a Switch anyways. It's just more for the portability. And of course, last but not least, I just want to throw in one more thing, guys, when to expect news and what to expect. Now, as I already said, it makes sense if this game is truly going to release February 2022. Gameplay would most likely be at a huge event such as Gamescom. They wouldn't want to leave gameplay at nacon Connects and then kind of show gameplay again at Gamescom. That doesn't make any sense. Having a world premiere for the first time, everyone's seeing it, gameplay at Gamescom makes sense, and that is when I think we're going to be seeing it. However, in July, an official release date and the location, in my opinion, will for sure be more than enough for a lot of you guys, and personally that would be more than enough for me, especially if we see gameplay literally less than a month later at the end of August at Gamescom. But again, that's just my personal thoughts, guys. If you did enjoy this video, leave a like down below and subscribe for more TDU SC content. You already know what it is. I'm Lock7, and I'll see you guys in another video. I'm out. Peace.